good gardening experience, even on a day when the weather is not perfect. Come out and see us, and we have umbrellas also. Bring your own jacket if you need to get out and look at some trees or whatever. We got all that covered, and we do that because we have the finest staff anywhere. Not just in terms of numbers, more importantly in terms of friendliness and general expertise. Two great examples of that are just to my right, Caroline Gant, Austin Lowen. Welcome in, guys. We're glad to have you here on the show this morning and a part of this organization. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tyler is scrambling back there.
There we are.
So happy to be here.
Apparently, we may be having some audio issues on the broadcast.
It seems like our main board cable is not feeding to the computer, but I've turned on one of the camera's audio so they can hear us a little bit right now.
Okay, good.
Well, and again, this is this goes back to the issues that Tyler and I had yesterday, and some of these things you can't really ferret out until you actually get on the air, because we made too many changes.
Well,
and it's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, I'm allergic to lightning myself.
Boy, and that one yesterday, as we were talking about before the program, that when you have simultaneous flash and boom, you're way close.
Yep.
And we had that yesterday, and it's one of those that even if you're a very religious sort, you might say something you wouldn't say otherwise.
A bad word?
You could come out with something. I have experienced an event. Another guy and I did, and this is 40 years ago. We were in a building working on a project, and in the field next to us, we had a simultaneous event like that where the lightning, the shaft of plasma struck the ground next door. I mean, it was 50 feet from us, and it was 6 feet in diameter.
Holy moly.
And he and I were as close as you and I are right now, and we both screamed at the top of our lungs, and you could not hear the other man scream. You could just see the mouth opening, going.
Because you went to that place that only bats and certain canines.
Cool, man. Yeah. So if you think you have actual power in this world, you don't.
Yeah.
The Mother Nature comes along every now and again and says, "By the way, I'm in charge. I allow you to exist in this world," and consequently, we get to exist in it, and we have we're fortunate to get to deal with such problems as this, which is technical in nature. So that's what getting to live is all about. Life presents little technical issues. Your mic's not working over there at all, guys? You got nothing? Zero? All
yes,
right.
Zero.
They're still working on that. Josh and I got plenty we can talk about.
We sure do.
We started off the show talking about the fact that we're probably at 28-year mark or thereabouts. 27 for sure.
Yep.
So we've been doing, we started off doing it's not a gardening show per se, it was kind of home improvement. And so we talked about, but it mostly was about gardening.
Yes, grass.
And grass, a lot of grass questions. With respect to all the things that are involved in the gardening process, drought is a really bad thing. We are not experiencing that. That's
good soil moisture. That's all I can say.
Yes. I don't know what the bad soil moisture is, except that it's not moist.
That's dry.
Yes.
That's bad soil.
That's what that is. So when you come out and you're looking at what all we've got going on here, and to help you in your garden, you're going to be met with a lot of people who are very happy and willing to help you and
show you all the cool stuff. Now, I walk through that. I usually take a stroll in the truck
before the show.
That lodgepole pine from Isley, it's got yellow new growth on it. Yes.
Oh,
it's
I heard something go.
It's okay.
That was us unplugging.
Okay.
Everyone can still hear you.
Yeah. Well, we just can't hear ourselves. Is that the
That's
deal?
right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Good. Keep talking.
Okay.
Lodgepole pine.
There we go.
And
it's a beautiful
everybody else on the
lodgepole
cast
pine.
can
It's
be
got
heard
an
too
ice
through the other
thing going
camera.
on with it too. You gotta come and see
There
it.
we go.
It is spectacular. It's out there by the new rose varieties that came in. Oh my good.
Hey, I heard the
Hey, we're on. Tyler, good work.
I don't know if the camera's working yet or not, but we're
It's okay.
but he's got audio, and that helps. That voice you hear right there we go.
There we are.
Austin Lowen, Caroline Gant,
Austin,
welcome
they
in,
said that
guys.
was an Isley introduction. I think I looked at the label. It is unlike anything you've ever seen.
And Isley, to be fair, has introduced quite a lot.
Yeah.
Between they and Monrovia, they're responsible for the lion's share. There's a little dwarf Alberta spruce.
Uh-oh.
It's dilly, or it may look like Jean's dilly if you read the tag, but the guy's name, Jean Isley, was the originator of Isley, and it was named. It's a. I don't know if you've got any of those right now, but that's one that comes to mind.
Wow.
So a really significant, extremely dwarf Alberta spruce.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome in, guys. What's going on over there besides technical difficulties?
No, I was just watching Tyler go to work over there. Just
Tyler's
amazing.
killing it over
Tyler
there.
doing Tyler
So
things.
I would
fast.
swear he had 3 arms
Yeah.
because they were just we could see with these plugs going in and out. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We may have a bigger hardware issue, but we'll deal with that later.
Well,
did.
but maybe we have dealt with that somewhat with what we've got coming in the first of next week. You don't know. Tyler is in line for some upgrades, so maybe our timing is really good on all that, Tyler.
Maybe so.
And speaking of which, and that was the voice of our extremely capable producer, Tyler Blankenship, who is a jack of many trades. I'm not going to give him all, but he's got a lot of skills, and so we're always appreciative of that. And we got some. There we go. Tyler,
Here.
Yeah. Just a moment ago, I wasn't even sat in here.
Okay, now your audio is only coming from wherever it's coming from across the room.
This mic, it's not coming from the board. It's coming from the camera over
Okay,
there.
all right.
Okay.
So just bear with us. Let's
so-
have a good
Yeah,
show.
by the end of the show, we'll have everything.
Yeah, it'd be great. 59 minutes.
So anyway, we're really glad to have everyone in today. And this is the time of year when there were questions abound. But before we get to questions, Caroline and Austin, let's get a little recap of your week and what you're hearing from folks and what your own experience is at your house. And because we talk about gardening, but we are in fact gardeners, so we're susceptible to all the same foibles. The things that are difficult in your garden are also difficult in ours. We might have a little more advanced knowledge than you do. We want to think that we've been doing this all these many years for a reason, but we're not exempt from them. So, on that note, give me what you got.
So many things. I mean, these two get pictures from me as soon as I get home from work
Right.
of my garden, of everything. You're probably tired of seeing my roses and my peonies,
Never.
but I keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop because I love them so much.
Yeah, and if y'all think you think about gardening like crazy, like you certainly do, but it is such an addiction for us. Like, I look at my garden every single night, and I look at the good things, look at the bad things, but I find the spots where I want new things, and I think of 20 new things that I could put in my bed, and I think, well, how do I choose? Working at a place like this is fantastic because you get anything you could ever want, but sometimes
It's too much.
it's too much because there's 8 things you want that you could put in that same hole.
You're kind of an overthinker
Thanks.
with your plants. You're welcome. Well, maybe not overthinking, but he likes to plan. He likes to put stuff in the ground once, which we all know.
Yes.
So you've been thinking about certain spots
I think
for
that's
years.
endemic around here because we all are constantly thinking about it. If you're talking to Ryan on the line, you talk about a guy who thinks. Now, that's a guy who's a thinker. Bridget down in Perennials and Celeste, they're thinkers. So that's how we're able to hopefully gain enough insight on the scope of things that are about gardening so that when you come up with whatever your question is, we've probably encountered it before, and we're going to be able to give you an answer.
We think about plants all the time. I was back with Michelle yesterday, who I love. Not that I have a favorite employee, but she's definitely one of my favorite coworkers. But just talking about how it's just so great to work somewhere where you can just talk about plants all day. She said when she started working here for the first time, she came from the medical industry, and she was like, it was my first day. I didn't know how it'd go, and I was helping unload a truck. And I walked in, and everybody was just talking about, like, wow, look at this plant. Like, I've got this in my yard. And she was like, and that's how I know I found my people.
It is. It's really nice to have to work, because we do work. Very physical work, y'all, to get all these trucks and everything set for the week.
There was no small amount of frustration earlier in the week. I mean, people were, everyone was going, how are we going to deal with all these plants? I guess we're going to have to sell them to somebody.
5-pound bag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So but like Caroline just said, like, it's so fun to be able to physically work very hard, but actually just enjoy the beauty and talk about the plants and where you want to put them, what you want to do with them, the colors, the everything. Like, so it makes work not so much like work,
Yeah, it makes it fun. It's fun to be here.
It is.
And we don't just imagine things in our own yards, we imagine them for your yard as well. And because, just like you were saying moments ago, we don't have places for all these things in our own yards, but it's really good creative space for us to be able to look at the photographs you bring in and the conversations we have with you to say, you know what, I got just the thing for that spot.
It's over here. Let's go find it.
But because I don't have a place in my yard, and I wish I did. But Renee has one of these special, Renee being my wife, Renee, she's got this little garden out front. And it's the most beautiful. It's prime right now. It's got roses in it. It's got peonies in it. It's got iris in it. It's got a Japanese maple in a big pot to the side. It's got a catinus, a smoke tree on the other corner. One conifer, golden conifer in there, campsicyprus. And it's just spectacular.
It looks amazing. I think she put a video up on her Facebook page the other day because I saw it, and I thought she was at a garden. And I was like, wow, look at that. And then I was talking with Sarah the other day, and she showed me the video, and I was like, oh, that's Renee's garden. It was like a manicured park. Wow, it was incredible.
So Renee's put a lot of work into getting that. But again, just like with also like this, do a spot and put that in there. And, so that's a common bit of angst we all have as avid gardeners, that you see something new, and we immediately start thinking, where can I use this? Because it's really cool.
Lodgepole pine.
You need that. See, I just buy stuff when I see it, and then I find somewhere to put it. I'm opposite than you. You think about your beds, and I just see it, and I'm like, well, I need it. I can put it somewhere.
If I get it home,
and then it's going to sit on my driveway. But not die, hopefully. Well, are we ready to get into questions?
We are.
do have a lot. Let's go ahead and we'll just start with Crepe Myrtle. How do I stop the cycle of aphids on my Crepe Myrtle?
Cool.
Soapy water has not worked.
Soapy water really only works if you target the insect, and it's kind of hard to get to every single aphid, y'all, with soap. So if you really want to go preventative on this, let's use a little bit more of a stout chemical, to get them kind of taken care of early in the game, all right? Now, look, Crepe Myrtle is not blooming, and it's not even thinking about it yet. So we're not hurting bees by doing any spraying. Well, the sprays you are going to use will affect bees if they're out, okay? But they're not on Crepe Myrtle yet. So if you want to just prevent the aphids from even happening this year, come out here. Let's talk about a few different options we can use for you for a little bit more stout of a chemical to kind of get rid of those.
We really like organics, but they're not always quite effective enough to treat every different situation.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. But we try to go down that list first and then go, well, you're down here, so you need to take a little stronger action, particularly given the criteria that's put forth in the question.
Yeah. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, we were out on the lot, and Austin was like, y'all come here. And there were ladybugs eating a ton of aphids on a plant.
It's amazing how many they can eat.
And I made a little video that's up on the Gardening Inside Out page, but yeah, they will just chomp down on them like little Skittles for them.
It was great. They were
treats.
Just picking them up and walking around.
Yeah, one picked up one and ran away.
Ate it somewhere else. Yeah,
it was like, I'm out of here.
But the thing is that even those great bugs that we have, like ladybugs, that are helpful with that. I mean, we had 2 ladybugs on that, and probably what would y'all say, 200 aphids at least.
And the aphids will be gone in no time. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's you think that they only eat a little bit. By the way, ladybugs are beetles. By the way,
Which one?
Lady beetles. They're just lady beetles. There's a whole lot of different kinds of lady beetles that exist. So anyway, it's just
so cute.
just a fun fact.
Yeah, just a fun little fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it time to talk about
Stuff.
that you put in the ground, that you put plants in?
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Hey, why don't we do a little talk here about? And I've gotten so involved in what we're talking about. Let's talk about Earthmix for just a moment. You know, we're very fortunate to be well into the product development and the process of Earthmix garden products. You know, it's not what might have been conjecture at one point is now very much proven, and it's proven by the people who use Earthmix what a beneficial substrate, the medium to plant in, a great amendment, and it is a ready to go, ready to use mix as well.
Yes.
And it is only sold at the best garden centers all over the U.S. now. We've got a lot of room to be able to expand that territory, but Earthmix Garden Products gives you everything you want and nothing that you don't want. And it doesn't have chemicals in it, doesn't have any kind of additives other than organic and natural things. So whether you're using Earthmix Supernatural, which is the premium line organic compost, and it's something that we take a lot of pains in really replicating that process and putting quality product out there. And it's very important because it's an important product, but more importantly, it is an input of other products down the line. Earthmix Garden, Proganics O, those are a couple of examples. So those are all, both those products are great, ready-to-use soil mixes. Earthmix Garden is in the green bag, in case you're out at a local garden center and see that. That's the one you want to get for what uses, Josh?
Gardening.
Garden, that's right. If you and you can use it not only for vegetable gardens, you can use it for flower beds or for any kind of plant, but that's its most specific purpose. Doesn't matter which one you choose, all are 100% organic. All are made right here in Nashville, Tennessee. And if you want to find Earthmix Garden products, just go to earthmix.net, click on the Find Earthmix tab, and there, if you see the screen roll up, you can tell that there's a whole bunch on the right-hand side of the screen there, and there's a couple way out west. So this is indicative of the scope of Earthmix Garden products, and we feel like that is going to only increase all over Tennessee and Kentucky, northern Alabama, western North Carolina, hopefully coming soon to a location near you. And if you don't find it in your area, simply go to the dealer inquiries and put an inquiry out there. Get your independent garden center to say, hey,
They know about it. Yeah, most likely.
we really want this product because we've heard it does great things. And you know what? It actually does. So check it out. All these great sellers of Earthmix Garden products. And just remember this, success in gardening indeed begins at the ground level. When you use Earthmix Garden products, we appreciate you tuning in every Saturday and listening to the message we get to put out there. And we're really proud that Earthmix is a part of that message that we get to put forth and to help take the work out of your gardening efforts. We want you to have success, and it greatly enhances your ability to do that. It's not just dirt.
Yep, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
got
so
a question about Earthmix.
So there you go, Caroline.
There it is.
That's what we call a segue right there.
So Jane Ann Gibbs is asking, can Earthmix Mix, which is what it's called, that just confused me, mushroom compost be used liberally as regular compost, or is it more potent?
No, it can be used. It can be used as the good thing about organics is that you cannot burn. You cannot overuse them. Now, I say that so that's a challenge to some people.
Yes.
And maybe I'm one of those people. You don't want to pile it up where it's around the stem. But as far as it being anything that is in any way negative, when you have organics, the release of nutritional supplements or nutritional value that's in the soil or in the amendment gets released very slowly. You don't have this what we call high ammoniacal nitrogen in there, and what that is essentially ammonium nitrate. That tends to flash. That's where burn sets in, and when you're using organics, that cannot occur because it's just not there. So doesn't mean nitrogen's not there. It just is in a form that is more slow released, and it's non-injurious to the plants, even if it's right up against the stem.
Jane, it's great stuff. It's fantastic stuff.
It is.
It's a little pricey. So, but it is worth it. So you don't want to just, I wouldn't say necessarily waste it, but top dressing.
It costs more to produce the best product. And,
Yes.
we have been uncompromising in what we're willing to do with, we've only tried to make it better.
Yep.
So, those products are,
It's some supernatural.
and local resellers are available by the bag. Here at Bates Nursery, you can get it in a super sack.
Yes.
If you
Gosh,
wish,
a
which
super
is-
sack.
which is-
What a Mother's Day present that would be.
Yeah,
Oh,
mom needs to
needs to
understand how big that thing is.
Yes.
So you got to find a spot to put it, because you think, well, I'll empty it halfway and scoot it around. No. It still weighs 1,000 pounds, even
Yes.
a half a bag of it. So you got to be careful about that. Or you can get it in bulk, and that's a very common way to get it. And with our updates in our processes over the last year, you get the same quality material in bulk that you do in a bag. We have this machine called a Terra Extreme, which completely pulverizes it. So it's the quality is, it's a night and day difference from what it was as far as the consistency of it. And you can get that whether it's a bag or in the bulk.
Wonderful.
Okay.
You know what else is wonderful?
What else?
Whatever this guy's going to talk
Oh, what's wonderful.
What's in bloom with Austin?
Thanks, Tyler. You sounded just like the button. You're the one that made the button happen, so it's great.
about. Tyler makes all the
It just
buttons
doesn't
happen.
have natural reverb in his voice.
Yeah.
Or, that's the.
What?
that's
I
the
just
deal.
can't back myself 5 times over.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, you know what, guys? I decided to do something different today, all right?
What?
I can't think about anything else because I mainly deal with the roses here, and this week is Rose Peak Week, people. So I don't even look at anything else that's in bloom because roses are the showstopper of
They are
everything.
distracting.
They are distracting. There's no other plant that when it's in bloom, you just have to stop and smell the rose. Okay, you walk right by geraniums, begonias, petunias, you can be like, oh, those are beautiful, and keep on walking. You walk by a rose and it's in bloom, and you stop.
Your
And
nose
you
has to
smell
go
it.
to it.
You go to it, you smell it, you just make noises. You don't even know you know. It doesn't even matter. There's so many roses out there that are fantastic. And I was thinking last night, that you got that spot in your bed, okay? It's a sunny spot. It's just one. You can't have anything huge. But, a lot of plants, especially for me, a lot of plants you can't just use one. One just looks, whatever. Like if it's hydrangea, you need 3. You need 5. You need it in a massing, a grouping, or whatever. But you got that one spot in the garden for one singular plant. One rose will do you, okay? You can go to a person's garden, you can look around at everything they've got, and you find that one standalone rose that is blooming in the corner, and you will find your way to that rose, and it's just one, okay? Now, I'm not saying you can't mass up roses, all right? That's fantastic, too. But if you got that one spot, think about a rose. Y'all, we've got the best selection of roses we're going to have all year. Hybrid teas, floribundas, grandiflors, climbers. Climbers have been really popular this year. People really want to grow those climbing roses. And roses to this point have been super clean, which is fantastic. The first flush of rose is the best you're ever going to see. We have not seen bugs quite yet, but I will predict they're probably coming this week or next. We haven't seen a ton of black spot fungus yet, but that will come too. Now, I'm not saying, y'all, that roses are just a set it and forget it type of plant. That's not what you do with the rose, okay? You got to treat her right, all right? You got to give her what she needs. You got to feed her in the spring, for sure. I don't know why I'm saying her. Like, roses can be guys too, but to me, they're pretty ladies. All right, but we got to give them what they need, and we can't always expect perfection unless we're going to put in some work. Okay.
And to the point you were talking about there, Austin, I think it's worth kind of reiterating a bit is that roses are not just one thing. There are types that stay, like the drift roses. That's what Renee has in her bed out front. They stay very close to the ground, and then there's everything in between, all the way up to the climbers that get quite tall. So it's not it's not a one size fits all. If you've got a specific application, a specific area that has whatever the limitations are, chances are there is a rose that will do well in that spot.
Yes, most definitely. We even got tree form roses now, which you see in the corners that we brought in yesterday. Like, they can be up on a tree form. So there's any kind of rose for your scenario. The biggest thing you need to know is it needs a sunny location. Y'all, 6+ hours a day is really recommended to get the best performance with roses. Don't try to grow them in the shade. Just really don't. It's not worth it. If you got a shady spot, plenty of other things for that.
They'll grow in the shade, but they won't bloom.
They don't bloom all that great, okay? But anyway, before I leave, we'll talk about 4 of my favorite colors out there, and my favorite particular roses for that one, okay? So if you want to grow a pink rose, try out Tiffany. She's pretty.
When
She's soft and pink.
Austin almost lost it.
It was incredible. It's a very tall, bushy hybrid tea plant, and it's a soft pink that has a high petal count, high fragrance. Tiffany is fantastic if you love
Tiffany
pink.
is appropriate to call Tiffany she.
That's right. Okay, let's move on to yellow. I'm a sucker for yellow roses. They are phenomenal. Oh, you can't beat them. Best yellow rose on the market, if you ask me, is Henry Fonda. Okay?
And that's he.
That's a he. And he's great. He is clean yellow, as perfect yellow as there is. They go quick when they get here. I think they're all gone.
He's a good rose.
But that is a beautiful rose, huh?
He's a good rose.
Yeah, he is a good rose. And then let's go to a pure white. Why not? My favorite pure white rose that we have is called Sugar Moon. Oh, baby. Clean, crisp, white roses, high petal count again. And for a white rose, it's got great fragrance. You don't see that very often with whites, okay? Sugar Moon. What a great plant. We've got some beauties in right now. Just about to pop, probably today or tomorrow. And then let's go to our classic red rose that everybody thinks of. My favorite red rose on the market is actually a Floribunda. Hence the name, abundance of flora. A lot of flowers on the same stem, y'all. My favorite. Showbiz.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't that be my favorite? That is the cleanest, most electric red on the planet. I sold the last 2 that we had on the lot yesterday to a lady that was ecstatic to see these. She just couldn't believe we had them, and they were in full show for her to see that red. She was giddy with excitement.
So are you saying we're out of showbiz?
I'm saying we're out of showbiz.
So, all right,
we're out of my favorites.
So give those who are listening an alternate red, since we don't have that. What could they go with? Do we have Mr. Lincoln?
Oh, Mr. Lincoln's popping. It actually popped a few days ago, so it was full show just a few days ago. But y'all, Mr. Lincoln is the most truest rose-smelling rose I've ever smelled. Yep. And it's fantastic. It works all the way from true red going into a magenta kind of color later on when it finishes. But y'all, colors change with roses throughout the day, throughout what the sunlight's doing. It's incredible. Come out, please, and look at our roses.
And Mr. Lincoln is a he, by the way.
That's right. And y'all, don't be scared of roses. Don't be scared. Be excited.
You can't have them if you don't have them.
That's right.
That's true.
Come get them. Please come look at our roses. We did a great display the other day. That was really money. It's a beautiful rose display with boxwood in there, of course, because we classy. Come see it, please. Please come see it. Thank you. Thank you, Tyler.
Whew. Whoa. There we go.
Roses.
Take a breath.
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
Absolutely amazing.
And it is Derby Day, so it has to be.
There you go.
It's a run for the rose in your
I have to run to Bates to get your nursery.
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right. Well, we do have some live questions in, so let's go ahead and start those. So Debbie is asking, I'm looking for a chartreuse perennial to complement a small burgundy leaf Japanese maple, midday and late afternoon sun.
You know what I bet would do really well there if you're okay with something getting a little bit big?
I know what you're saying.
Sun King Aurelia. One of my favorites, y'all. And it can handle some of that afternoon sun. It's more of, it can definitely handle some shade, but it can take some of that sun later on in the day as long as you keep it moist, okay? This was like the perennial plant of the year in 2020, I believe. And Sun King Aurelia is a beefy plant. It'll get large. You talk about chartreuse foliage. It's phenomenal.
It is incredible.
Yeah, it comes back from the roots every year. It does not come back from those sticks. Those sticks are hideous over the winter, y'all. I mean, just awful. So you cut those back. But then new stuff comes up from the ground, and mine is poking probably 2 foot already from the dirt.
And they'll get, 5 to 6?
5 to 6. Mine do at the end of the season. They don't always get that. It depends on where it's at. But
yours get so much bigger than mine.
They're just so, they love that spot they're in.
Yeah,
they're really in a
there.
great spot. So That one would certainly be cool for chartreuse foliage.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the only one.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's the one you've got to go with.
Please
because Austin said get it.
Mm-hmm.
You have some good photos of it, which you'll have to dig out of your phone down somewhere that we'll show one day.
All right.
We don't know if photos are going to happen today. But that's
We don't know. There's a lot going on.
We'll see.
Tyler is nailing everything today. He's killing it.
It's okay.
So Helen is asking, I recently planted a Blagan maidenhair ginkgo tree that I purchased at Bates Nursery on kind of a whim. I'm considering getting a second one. Do you have thoughts on this tree?
First off, Blagan is a cultivar of a ginkgo biloba, which if you're not growing a ginkgo, you're not doing it right. You got to have at least one.
Well, shaming people.
Yeah, I'm not shaming. I'm just saying everybody needs a ginkgo in their life. It's Caroline.
I do. I forgot I had one.
Right.
I just haven't planted it yet.
I was about to scold you. But anyway, this cultivar supposedly reaches about 15 feet tall, about 8 feet wide. So it's a very much pyramidal growing, and this was also found by a guy out at Isley Nursery, somewhere in France, I believe, is where this one came out with. And it's a beautiful little plant that has, as long as you've got space for a 15-foot tall tree. And when I say 15 foot tall, it will probably exceed that, y'all, with age. But ginkgos are naturally very slow. But the leaf shape of a ginkgo is just phenomenal. And then what do you see in the fall? Oh, only the best yellow color in nature.
You got it.
So, like, you're thinking about another one? Just do it. I mean, if you
The
don't
greatest thing
about
about the ginkgos is when the leaves, you get the color, and then they all drop at the same time, and you're done cleaning up.
And you can almost stand there and watch the entire tree defoliate. I mean, before your eyes. It's like, okay, it's time. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cool one out there right now. I noticed another one. It's got a really tiny little leaf on it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's another kind of dwarf from Isley. Our ginkgo game, you talk about our rose game right now that's money. Our ginkgo game is phenomenal too. I mean, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 different cultivars of just ginkgo alone. And you know what's cool about ginkgo is that there is not another species of that plant. Ginkgo biloba. Biloba is the sole species in the whole genus. Yo, that's cool. There is no other species out there. So I'm just a massive fan of ginkgos. Can live through anything. No pest pressure whatsoever. Hardly any pathogens that really get on ginkgo. It's the cleanest little tree. And it's a deciduous conifer, which is really weird too. You don't even think about that at all. But it technically is. It doesn't, but it is technically. Very old plant. Y'all, I could go on, but I'm not going to.
Ancient.
It may be the oldest surviving species that we
on the planet, maybe.
Yes, on the planet.
Yeah, like seriously. So that's cool.
Lived through the dinosaur thing and everything like that.
There are those who believe that the ginkgos actually killed the dinosaurs.
I
don't know who they are, but there's some.
So I think what we're saying is, yes, you should get another one and plant it.
Come on, get it.
All that passion right there, that's your answer.
Yep.
And then Patricia is asking, how do you protect roses from deer?
You're going to have to put something around it, probably.
TWRA's got rules.
But yeah, a deer will come in and take a bloom, just like, it'll just see it. Just
if they would only stop at a bloom, it would be nice. But they're eaters. So you almost need to provide something that's a distraction and alternate source for deer, not just for protection against roses, but for all the things. So, if you can maybe give some salt blocks to your neighbors.
Yes, there you go.
Down the street.
At the back of their property to give them something to pull them in. It's totally legal, thing. And
it's good for them, actually.
Yes, it is.
Mineral blocks.
Yeah, and one thing I've heard from a customer, they said they worked pretty well was using fishing line kind of away from whatever plant you're trying to protect, like stringing that up, because they don't see it until it hits them or they walk right into it and it
freaks them out.
Freaks them out a little, they might go away. So maybe you could try that. That could be helpful.
Yeah, I would get tangled in it because I forget I put it there.
There are those who stand in the yard with an air horn. But it takes a lot of patience to do that, just to stand out there.
And wait for it.
Maybe a motion detected air horn would be appropriate.
Oh. Then again, you probably scare yourself.
Yeah, you wake up at 2 a.m.
And then we have another deer question. Good low light plants that deer will not devour.
I've got one right off the rip, and that's hellebore. Yep. Deer do not eat hellebore. This comes from Julie Patterson, who orders all the plants for us that are outside on the lot. and all over the place, really. Julie's great. Shout out, Jules. Hope you're doing well today. But she uses hellebore and has for the past 25 years, and she has a massive deer problem. She's out in Hendersonville, and if y'all know, terrible out there. They have never touched her hellebore.
One other plant that comes to mind that's pretty shade tolerant is an azalea is Puccinense or Puccinense compacta azalea, which is a kind of a lavender purple flowering azalea. The commonality between hellebore and that plant is that they have this fragrance that deer do not like. So much of the key to finding things that deer won't eat is to something that has a scent that they find offensive. So they won't touch either one of those. The wonderful Duncan Caldecott, who's a wonderful friend for a lot of years, he showed me in his own garden where he had beds of azaleas with Puccinense compacta mixed in between. They would chew the other azaleas to the ground and never touch those. So I've seen it.
That is so interesting.
Amy says they don't like the smell of Milorganite.
Who does?
That smell.
Oh, my Lord.
From the
bowels of Milwaukee.
Literally. Literally. So,
think about it, folks.
Yeah. But you know what? You know who has Milorganite?
Who does have that? And those plants that deer might not like too much.
You know, it's a guy with a web browser over here. There we go. It's called Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And not only do we have that product, we have a great many other products. Actually, it's my belief we probably have as many as everyone else put together. Our inventory spring inventory is here. And it's being constantly replenished. I mean, we have so many trucks. Austin, how many trucks we had this week? Do you have any idea?
This week? More than 20.
So we're constantly bringing it in. Whether you're talking to Bridget down in perennials, and Bridget does a great job in perennials, and her number one assistant down there, Celeste, who works on the shade perennial side. Great ladies. Go see them. One of our wonderful new additions this year is Emily, who's down in annuals. And Emily's doing a great job. So if you like what you see down there, I can't imagine that you won't. Find Emily and say hello to her. Tell her you're doing a great job, because she is. Not only do we have these great people, and we're very fortunate to have them, we had this selection of plant material that is not available anywhere. That's the reason why we have people this time of year drive from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, or Atlanta, or Knoxville, or Tupelo, Mississippi, or wherever, that make their pilgrimage to Bates Nursery, because we have these things that are not available elsewhere. And on a day like today, it's really a good time to come, because some people who are not maybe the most ardent gardeners get a little distracted by clouds or rain. They may just go, oh, it's cloudy.
You're not going to melt or wash away. Because you go in the beach tree and you can walk from one end of the place to the other.
Right.
Not going to get wet.
So we invite you to come out, see all the things we have, and it's probably more than you can imagine. We have, my greatest joy is to talk with people who are first timers who come out here. They go, oh, we had no idea this even existed.
Yes.
So come see us. In addition to all that, I do a little newsletter, and I've been writing that weekly for more than 16 years now. Weekly. That's with.
It's very
not,
strong.
It's not with. It's not with. It's
all.
not with an A. That's with two E's.
Oh, that's right.
But some people might describe it as being weak.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but there's nearly 34,000 who actually like it. So. And I write that every week, and it comes to your inbox, and we don't share your information with anybody, and we don't load you up with any other email stuff. We just do that once a week, and we invite you to, I'll write a little story about what you do, about whatever, and it always winds up talking about gardening in some aspect. So check it out if you like, and if you decide you don't want it, you can just unsubscribe at any time, and that's cool. But you'll get signed up when you come in to Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
It's easy. Click, click, click.
Yeah.
Done.
So there's that. Come see us. We've been beautifying Nashville since 1932. My grandmother, who's the lady who's up on the main page there, she is the one who got all this started, and I very proudly continue this on with the help of a lot of great landscape and horticultural professionals that are all over Bates Nursery. So please come see us. Check it out. We are a gardening experience like no other. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932. So check it out, Bates Nursery. And thank you, Caroline, for keeping me on point there.
Oh, anytime. Yeah, y'all come take a stroll, rainy day stroll. Listen to the rain on the roof. It's so soothing.
Caroline's area is in there in the tropicals and cacti and all those things.
The garden center is amazing. You get all kinds of supplies in there, tools in there.
Fun, shining faces and personalities up there.
And Earthmix.
And Earthmix, that's right. And then you can keep walking. I mean, half, I would say at least, or 3/4 of the plants are undercover. So even though it's raining, don't let that...
But if you haven't had your walk today, this is a perfectly good place to come out and walk.
Yeah. Get them in.
Well,
all right, let's
take a walk around this room.
Let's take a walk. Tyler, gonna yell?
What's in room with Caroline?
Yeah. Right, Tyler.
I kind of prefer this new way of doing the buttons. I don't think we need your button board anymore, or whatever that soundboard. Yeah.
Doesn't matter because it's not working anyway.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we have in room this morning. So on the corners, this is a plant that I have been eyeing, and I'm probably going to buy a few Orange Glow Knockout Rose. So this is a new one. And the top of the petals are very, very orange, very vibrant, but down inside is yellow. So it literally gives you this like glowing effect. When they are out on the lot and the sun is hitting them, they are glowing. They're just shooting out rays, and they are looking stunning.
Knockout roses are one of the more vigorous growing plants, period. So
I would say the easiest rose, perhaps, or one of them.
Certainly.
But Austin just plucked this little rose, so you can see the inside of it. Look at that.
Yeah, very
yellow bits.
Yellow
bits. Oh, it's so pretty.
Cute, so pretty. Everybody needs some of these.
My daughter and her son-in-law bought 4. Gorgeous in the bed.
That's beautiful.
I can't wait to get them. I think I know where I'm going to put them. I am going to think through this one because it's a bigger purchase. And then right next to it, we've got high white hydrangea. Y'all, when we were talking about what to bring in room, Ryan was like, you guys have to bring in some of these hydrangea because they look so good right now. So look at those. Yeah, they do look fake. They look very fake. It looks like we walked into Michael's and we plucked some flowers out of the floral department and then brought them in. And then up above it, if you see those blue little flowers, we have brought this in before. I had to do it again. That's going to be Blue Moon Phlox. It's an upright phlox, a great little woodland plant, great native, and it smells amazing.
It does.
I have seen this along the roadsides, along creek sides, near my property. They grow wild, but you can add it to your landscape because it is a really, really
a great native plant.
And then next to it, we've got Carnival Cinnamon. So I have Carnival Watermelon, and I am absolutely obsessed with that heuchera. And so I had to add this to my heuchera hosta bed this year because I hadn't seen this one before. So it's very, very red, very hot looking, and I can't wait to see how it does, if it does just as good as the Carnival Watermelon. And then next to that, we've got Golden Zebra heuchera. You see that chartreuse color with the red in the middle. Yeah, sexy, I think, is the exact word that we need to use for that, Josh. Correct. Sexy little heuchera right there.
Is that a ladybug on the leaf?
There was a ladybug in here. No,
I see it. It's up there on the back. Yeah.
Oh, there she goes.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
She's just patiently waiting for aphids.
Yeah, she is. She's like, take me back out. I'm ready to snack. And then we're going to get to our hostas that are behind here. I love hostas. My hosta bed is going wild right now. So in front of Austin, you still see that flower being twirled. We've got Vulcan. Ooh, look at that. Wow.
May the force be with you.
I think there's a whole Star Trek. There's a whole Star Trek line of hosta.
Live long and prosper.
And then next to it, we've got Warwick's Comet. I've got this one planted in my bed. It stays pretty short. Let's see if I can get it up. It spreads out. Oh, there we go. Look at those leaves.
It's spinachy looking.
I added this last year. And then next to that, we've got American Halo. Yeah. Oh, I probably need that one. This one looks like it's going to get pretty big.
My word.
Yeah.
Great foliage.
My word is, hostas, I mean, they're showing off right now. Usually when we get a little bit hotter, as we get towards midsummer, mine will start to not look quite as good, but they still look great. And then next to it, we've got this heuchera that I have not seen before. We've got Topaz Jazz. Y'all, that name. Wow.
Topaz Jazz.
Topaz Jazz. I I kind of want to add this. It's a really, really soft orange. I was asking Austin if he liked it, and he was like, in the right
You just want it because you want to be able to answer the question. People ask, what is that?
Topaz Jazz.
Yeah.
I really, really
looking.
like it. It's so like light and unsaturated in its color. And then we're going to skip over to what we have behind us because I wanted, we talk about our hot plate plant last. In the corners, we've got Chihuly Treeform Rose. So these are some of the roses that we just recently got in from Weeks. And I would say this is my favorite tree form that we have out there right now.
Outstanding.
Stunning. You can't really see the petals right now, but there is, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
There's yellow and pink, but there's like some little splotches on them too. So it's different than the Orange Glow Knockout that we just recently talked about. And then next to it, we've got Crimson Tide Climbing Rose. Is it Crimson Tide?
All you Alabama fans out there, it's just for you.
I think I said Crimson Tide because I was thinking Alabama. Crimson Sky, not Tide.
Now everybody can buy
They're
them.
like,
Oh,
I need that rose. I was thinking about my Alabama family right there. That's what it was. But you can see how giant these blooms are. They're massive. I hadn't seen this one before.
That's a Monrovia plant.
Uh-huh.
They came up with that one. That one's red as red can be.
That's a climber too. Right?
It's a climber. Yes, it is. And then underneath the TV, we've got even more hydrangea. Oh, you can't see it. Well, you can see the blue one right here. This is High Horizon Blue Hydrangea. Wow. And then I'm going to lift up this last one. Here we go.
I got it, Carolyn.
Do you?
Yeah.
You got it.
The blue one? Or the pink one?
The pink one.
The pink one.
Tyler's got the pink one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He
I have to
doesn't
change
have-
the shot. There we go.
There's
There
the
we go.
pink one. And now I can't remember the name. What's it? My Beautiful Spitfire Hydrangea.
Oh,
Wow.
love that.
Uh-huh. Super beautiful. Our hydrangea selection right now is insane. If you want more of the shade-loving hydrangeas, all undercover. So if it rains all day, you can come look at them and not get wet. Now let's talk about our feature plant today. We've got Great Expectations Hosta. So I planted this about 2 to 3 years ago, immediately forgot the name. And every year it comes out. I love it so much, and I've been wanting to remember what it is, but there's so many hosta out there that I had a really hard time figuring out what it was. Then we got them in yesterday. So this is from Monrovia as well, and it's, y'all, the leaves are rounded. It gets fairly tall. It's like a medium height for a hosta. It's a great addition to any shade bed that you have.
There are two families of shade perennials that you have both here well represented. Hostas and Heuchera that are both they're great examples of how great colorful foliage adds to the landscape. It doesn't have to have flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, now they both technically do bloom, but that's not the showy part of them.
No,
So,
it's those
which,
leaves.
Caroline, in your estimation, is the greater of the two?
The leaves, yeah.
No, I'm talking about of the two.
Oh, I
That's a
don't
tough
know.
one. That's
I
a
don't
tough-
know. This time of year, I would say hosta, but year round, I'd say
Heuchera for me.
Like a lot of my heuchera stays up and looks great. Like the watermelon carnival that I already talked about. To me, that's the one that performs the best, and I have a lot of them. Y'all, through the winter, it's clean. It even will grow a little bit. It doesn't die back at all. It's something else. But that's why, and we have a question about, besides hosta, what recommendations do you have to mix into a perennial shade bed with hosta? That's why I've got my hosta and my heuchera all planted together, because in the winter, as the hosta goes dormant, my heuchera is up, and then you can see it even more.
Right.
Because right now, some of them are starting to get a little bit covered by the hosta, which is fine for them. They love shade, so they're okay with that. But yeah, then, like I said, it dies back. The heuchera is showing off, and it's time to shine. So those are great shade perennials.
Hey, Tyler, how close can you get in on the corners? I mean, I you guys have got to see this. I mean,
Let me duck my hand down.
yeah.
That blinding bald spot.
As beautiful as the blooms are, the buds are striking, and you've got such a contrast.
Oh, there we go.
Look at it; it's like Texas yellow roses
On
with
the underside,
with the
yes.
blonde, with the blooms. So I mean, you've got such visual interest on that; it's just amazing. So
Beautiful rose.
Amazing. Gorgeous. Yeah. Well, let's get to a couple more questions
Okay.
because
I'll set up now.
we have so many. Advice on lilac pruning. I would like to keep some of the height, but it's gotten too big.
Well, if it's gotten too big, I guess we have to shorten it a little bit. I mean, don't go too far, obviously, but now's the time to do it. They've pretty much finished up blooming, and that's when we recommended prune lilac. So now's the time. So, just find that spot where you want it to be and then prune it all uniform, across the top of the shrub. And then if it's gotten too wide, you can certainly just take side shoots off. If it is too wide, just take the whole shoot, the whole stem back to the main stem, okay? Like when you're top pruning, you're going to shorten a little bit, but keep the sticks. If it's too wide, take the whole stick that's going out too wide. Because if you just tip prune that a little bit, it's coming right. It's going to be just as wide again. So
going
that
right
makes
back
sense.
out.
And
That
for
does
people
make
who are
sense.
trimming any kind of a deciduous flowering shrub, after it flowers, you trim it as hard as you want to.
Pretty
That's
much.
the time to do it.
Mhm.
The mistake that people make a lot of times is let it grow all summer and then do it, and then they wonder why it didn't flower the next year.
Oh.
There's a connection there.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
there is. There's a time to prune everything. And then Mary is asking, I recently found an oak tree seedling and potted it to see what it would do. I don't know much about oak trees other than they get huge. Can I keep it in a pot? At what size do I need to put it in the ground?
You can put it in the ground pretty much at any size if you wanted to, but it is fun to grow a little oak tree in a pot for a while, okay? Just make sure your pot's a little bit tall. Oak trees do have kind of that taproot that really goes down kind of far, so if you know.
And you're less likely to mow over it if it's in a pot.
Exactly, yeah.
So when it's really small, you're going to have to take some special measures to keep it visible so you don't whack it.
Be patient. Be very patient.
They are slow. They're a very long-lived plant. Oak trees in general are very long-lived, but they also are very slow to get big. But a great little potted plant to grow for a few years. They're fun.
Yeah, and then you can watch all of its growth.
Mhm.
And then Miriam is asking, besides
Miriam.
Hi,
deadheading-
Miriam.
Good morning,
Miriam.
Miriam. How can I keep my clematis blooming?
Well, it's going to have its bloom time. I mean, you can't just keep it. Once it goes through phases. I mean, so they're probably blooming right now, and it's going to be blooming for a little while longer. But then after that, after you deadhead, you might see another flush a little bit later. But Miriam, I mean, a lot of times every plant kind of has their bloom time, and a lot of things don't rebloom all that much, and clematis will a little bit, but there's nothing really you can do, honestly, besides what you're doing, which is deadheading, to kind of see a rebloom.
A rebloom.
Yeah.
And speaking of clematis, we got a piece of mail. It's called fan mail. So on our podcast, you
Fan
have the
mail.
option.
Yeah.
While you're listening, as long as you're not driving, you can hit a button that says fan mail.
And I
with
saw that yesterday. It was awesome.
It allows you to send questions, comments, or anything to the podcast on whatever platform you listen to.
Oh,
I'm not sure if
cool.
it's available on YouTube, but it is available on everything else. So Tracy is saying she is in White House. I was just listening to the latest podcast where Caroline was lamenting about her dying clematis, which my clematis has died once again. I said I thought it was one of my pets that stepped on it. And she said, I just wanted to share that I struggled with my clematis for 2 years until I realized my cat was walking on it and using that spot in the flower bed as a litter box. I put a triangular obelisk over the base of the clematis, which protects it and allows it to climb. It's stunning now. Just wanted to share. Love your show. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank
So
you.
thank you.
That's super
It's
sweet.
nice to know that somebody else has been there with me because I have tried 3 now and they just,
Well, and you
Gotta
know,
have an obelisk.
those physical things that happen with clematis it happens a lot. It's because clematis breaks super easy, y'all. And if it has one little break in the stem, wherever it may be, you'll see the rest of the plant go. I mean, so don't give up on clematis just because it can be sometimes finding that right perfect spot's a little tricky. But those physical things that happen is just part of gardening around here. I had to wake up this morning to a chicken on top of one of my petunias. There's only 17 petunias planted in a row, perfectly. And then it decides to lay and scratch and peck on one.
Whose chicken was it?
My chicken.
Okay.
it's
And
already happening.
I don't
It's
want
so
it
early,
anymore.
too.
Anybody want a chicken? I'll give it to you for free. Well, I said no.
What's
my
his
wife.
name? Or what's her name?
I don't remember. Jill knows all the names. I can never remember. She'll name them and she'll be like, no, that was that one. I'm like, okay, which one's
You're
that
like,
one? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm just mad at that one right now because she's probably the prettiest chicken too. But she was just flopping on top of that petunia. No, I'm not doing that again. But that's what it looked like. And now I got
Put some
one
little-
stupid petunia.
Stick some little pokey things in the ground, like
That's a
pieces
good
of
point.
wire.
Oh,
I'm
that's a good
Plastic
idea.
forks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that on top of your Misty Lilac?
Yes, Caroline. And it was the
Oh.
very first one I planted in the row. I'm sorry.
Sassy.
I'm sorry. I'm
You're
mad.
gonna hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. I'm mad. Don't get your feelings hurt.
And his voice really comes up like 20 decibels.
It is insane.
Oh, why just that one?
Oh,
There's Tyler's music.
What did I wake up to this morning? Chicken on the tunias. Okay.
So I guess we're wrapping up the show. It sounds like.
Got to stop on that one. That's
Tyler's doing good over there.
very good.
Well, it's been another great program, and we appreciate all the questions, all the interaction, and being patient to endure our difficulties we've had today. You know, that's what life is about, is enduring the difficulties and working your way through the best way you can. We thank you for tuning in today.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. And if you're out there, you can listen to us anytime on podcast.
Yes.
Anywhere it is, it's going to be out there.
Yeah, these three over here, you know, they do that whole podcast thing every week.
Great job.
Awesome job. So check it out.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you for tuning in again. Hopefully, see you again soon here on Gardening Inside Out.
Like, subscribe, share.
Yeah.
Come out to the
Tell
nursery.
people about it.
Yes.
Come smell the roses with me today.
Yes.
We'll sniff every one of them. I don't care.
Come on out.
We're doing it.